Welcome back to week 2 of our intuitive life audit. Last week we explored time, but not in the usual way of looking at schedules and what we feel we should do with our time, but rather we tuned in to our inner wisdom to sense intuitively where we want to spend more of our time and where we want to spend less of it. We tuned into that deeper intelligence, which can be trusted far better than the conditioned mind. And this week we're taking that same intuitive approach to our body. So every week we're going to be tuning into a different topic, a different aspect of our lives, and going deeper than what our intellect says about it. Really tuning in to our inner wisdom and finding what's right for you, rather than listening to what somebody else thinks you should be doing. So here's this week's core question. What has your body been trying to tell you that you haven't been listening to? Our bodies are always communicating with us. It could be through a sense of feeling heavy and lethargic, not having energy, or it can be through feeling nourished and energized. Quite often our body will be telling us to slow down, or that we've eaten too much or pushed ourselves too hard physically. Sometimes our body's telling us that we need to move more. There's all kinds of messages that we can tune into and that we're very good at ignoring. So this week we're taking off the blinders and we're really paying attention to what our body is telling us. What is my body trying to tell me that I haven't been listening to? Now, some things that I mentioned are quite obvious, but then there are the not so obvious sensations that you can feel in your body as well. When we really tune in, we can start feeling tension in all kinds of areas. We can feel resistance, a stopping of the flow of energy. We can feel relief. That's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? It's when, just a lightness of being, as though we've been carrying something around and we've dropped it, we've let it go, and we just feel lighter. We can feel joy and we can feel discomfort in our bodies. We can feel so much. And the thing is, the body doesn't lie. It's not like the mind. So many of us are trapped in the story of our body, in the history of our health. And we bring that into every new day, really restrict the possibilities of creating something new, of freeing ourselves from these old stories and discovering a new way of being, perhaps a new way of eating, a new way of moving, a new way of looking at ourselves, and a new way of feeling about our physical form. This is so important to be aware of. We don't want to remain stuck in those old patterns. And as the new year approaches, or whenever you're listening to this, let's keep in mind that the past doesn't need to define our future any longer. That every day we're given the most precious gift of a new day and a new beginning. Don't take this for granted. It's very precious.
As you move through your week, ask yourself these questions. What feels nourishing for my body today? Where am I caring for everyone else and forgetting myself? What does my body need more of? And what does it need less of? What happens when I give it even a moment of attention? Let the answers come quietly. Don't force anything. Don't evaluate. Just notice.
So, as with everyone else, I have my own backstory when it comes to my body. I was always quite slim and didn't really worry about what I ate or what I did with my body. But then I reached a time in my life when I was older and I had all this extra weight, and it wasn't easy to get rid of it. So I started wearing baggier clothes and bigger sizes and feeling more self-conscious about how I looked. And over the years I tried different diets. I think quite a few of us can relate. Mostly unsuccessful, and the ones that were successful were so sort of radical I couldn't keep them up. Anyway, eventually I just came to terms with how I was and decided, well, this is how I'm meant to be, and that's okay. So don't put any more pressure on yourself, Aliki. Until about 3 weeks ago, when life gave me a surprising gift. There's a scale where they check for diabetes, and if you're from 42 to 47, you're what's considered pre-diabetic. For a number of years, I've been pre-diabetic. So about a month ago, I went for my yearly diabetes blood test, and it came back with the number 48, which means that I crossed the line and am now diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The reason I call this a gift is because it gave me the kick up the bum that I needed to make some changes in my life. I've completely changed the way I eat. For example, I used to just eat fruit by itself, but apparently that spikes your blood sugar. So the main thing I've learned is to eat protein, healthy fats and fiber with every meal, and to start with the protein and have a lot more veg, drastically limiting my carbohydrates and processed food. I really pay attention to what I'm giving my body, what I'm putting into it, when it's had enough, when it feels hungry, how to really best take care of it with this new diagnosis. And guess what else has been happening? Quite spontaneously, I've been losing weight. And today, for the first time in I don't know how many years, I've actually got my top tucked into my trousers. This is something I would never do. I mean, I feel like a new woman, I have to say. Anyway, that's just all part of the story, but I wanted to bring you up to speed. So I'm doing this life audit with you, and I'm tuning in to what my inner wisdom is telling me about what changes I need to make moving forward. So I'm going to carry on with what I've been doing, but I want to add to that more joy, more pleasure with the whole process of eating food. For too long, food has been about convenience, and I just really I felt that I haven't had the time or the inclination to spend much time preparing it. But now I'm feeling differently. I really see it as a sort of love language. When I listen to what my body is saying, it's telling me that it would like to move more. Now, I do morning stretches, mostly for my back, and I do walk most days, but there's a pull to do more. more qigong, more rowing machine, just more dancing, yes, dancing, more joyful movement, definitely more of that. In the past, when I'd try and go on a diet or restrict my eating in some way, there would be this sort of heavy sense of, I mustn't eat that, don't let yourself eat that, as if I was sort of, my hand was reaching for it and I'd have to pull it back. No, constantly putting pressure on myself. It's so different now. There's this sense of respect for my body. And also, I sense to always give myself the freedom to actually do what I want to do. So if it's a birthday celebration or Christmas Day and I want to have that slice of cake, to have it. But to have it at the right time with the right thing. And not to have too much of it, but rather to savor a small portion. And most of all, to keep tuning in to what my body is telling me, to really listen for the rest of my life so that I can have the best place to live in this physical form.
The body always leads you back to the present moment. Your body never lies. Your mind will try to negotiate, but your body tells the truth. Slow down, and your body will show you what it needs. Rest is not laziness, it's medicine. The body has its own way of knowing, a knowing that has nothing to do with the mind. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.
Remember, in the coming days, to ask your body what it's telling you and to listen, to really listen. As usual, if you'd like to share your insights and realizations with me, I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you next week, where we'll be tuning into everyone's favorite topic, money. And we'll look at it through the same intuitive lens.